beautiful.
That was so cute. I loved it. Action!
Swati Crab, everybody. This is Giacomo, chef de partie for the Thai Orchid restaurant in Falmouth. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make Thai-style spring rolls. Let's start off with the main ingredients for the spring roll. Cabbage, carrots, spring onions, and coriander. So first things first, let's get to chopping up some veggies. Let's start with the red cabbage. It's very important to chop it finely, otherwise there is a slight, because there's always a risk if you chop the cabbage too thick, it might break the spring roll, which is a disaster. Okay, enough for now. Carrot. Spring onion. And last but not least, some very nice fresh coriander. We always get our vegetables nice and fresh and we never waste anything. Voila! Now we can move on to the next episode of Spring Roll Rolling. Okay, so as you can see, we have the table covered with beautiful ingredients. We got these wonderful bean sprouts right here. We got glass noodles straight from Thailand, also known as vermicelli, so that probably rings a little bell for you. Then we got our carrots, our red cabbage, our spring onion. We got these three interesting ingredients here, which are garlic granules, pepper, and soy sauce. We have the coriander that we also chopped 5 minutes ago. A secret blend of ingredients that I'm not allowed to reveal, but everybody can kind of add their own secret ingredients, the beauty of it. And then we got palm sugar, straight from Thailand also. It derives from coconut and it's unprocessed. Consequently, it is better for you and less harmful as processed sugar. We got wonderful pastries, okay, which you can find in every little Asian corner shop in whatever town you're living in. And last but not least, very important ingredient, we got a sweet soy sauce, Healthy Boy brand, which is a very famous and notorious brand in Thailand. Let's say it's kind of like the Heinz for the British public. So let's take a little bit of everything. Also very important, when you open your packet of pastries, it is recommended to put a wet towel on top so that the pastries don't get too dry, because once they dry up and you start folding, there is a high risk of little cracks that would then result in a non-successful spring roll. Okay, so let's get a little bit of everything and let's blend it in together here. So we get our nice glass noodles that have been soaking in warm water for 5 minutes. A nice dose of red cabbage. Some bean sprouts. Spring onion. Carrots. Garlic. Pepper. The soy sauce. A nice generous pinch of coriander. The secret blend. Which you can also make up your own secret blend. It's not like we only have a secret blend. Anybody can come up with their own little extra bit to make the difference. And our sugar. We like the sweetness. Keep in mind that in Thai cuisine, it's all about the balance of the sweet, the spicy, and the salty. So you have to trust your own palate and figure out how to find that balance in order to succeed in Thai cuisine. Right, let's mix up all of these beautiful ingredients. Okie dokie. We have our beautiful mix, as you can see. Now, we can get a pastry and start rolling. Lovely. The trick when rolling a spring roll, I mean there are various tricks, but this is one of them, is have yourself a little bit of water and flour, which will help towards the end of the rolling to stick the pastry on top of each other. Okay, so get a nice generous handful of your mix, and if possible, let it dry a little bit. You don't want to have it too wet and damp from all the sauce and garnishes that you have, otherwise there will be a risk of breaking the pastry. There are a lot of things that can break the pastry, so you have to be careful, delicate, but at the same time sure of what you're doing. Okay, here we go. So position your mix towards the lower half of the pastry. Get the lower corner with your hands, hold it together on the sides, press it a little bit, tuck the corner inside, roll just a little bit, press it on the sides because it has to be all nice and compact in the middle. Okay. Get rid of all the pieces that are trying to fall out from the mix. Again, they could break the pastry. Get the corners, okay. pull it towards the middle of the spring roll that has been tucked in. Same with the other corner, okay? Then another fold. Use a mix of water and flour. Get the top corner nice and wet. And finally, one last roll. And there you have your Thai style spring roll, straight from the Thai Orchid in Falmouth. Also suitable for vegans.
She like a
Okay, so we got a spring roll that has been cooking in vegetable oil for approximately 5 to 7 minutes. So this is the spring roll that we rolled literally 10 minutes ago, nice and crunchy on the outside. It is advised to eat your spring roll with some lovely sweet chili sauce. This is the sweet chili that we make here at the Thai Orchid, and it's made out of bird's eye chilies, which are grown in Cornwall, these ones here that you see. Very nice. But they're very traditional in Thai cuisine, bird's eye. Okay, to cut your spring roll, it is recommended to use a bread knife. So, diagonally, like this. Feel that crunch? Voila. A little bit of coriander for garnish. And here is Thai Orchid's spring roll. Beautiful. Don't mind if I try some myself. You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. Tasty, perfectly balanced. Get that crunchiness. Get the beautiful, beautiful. Check this out. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this.
Sawadee-ka! Welcome to the Thai Orchid restaurant. This is head chef Anne and Becky, front of house manager, and together we are the power couple that take care of things behind the scenes. We are so happy to be taking part in Craft Eat Smile Vegan Festival, and we have actually created a new vegan dumpling recipe just for you guys. So we're going to let you in on a few little Thai secrets today, and maybe we'll learn a little bit of Thai along the way. So first things first, our key ingredient here is our wonton skins. And would you like to show them, darling? These you can get in all good Asian suppliers, particularly locally. We're so happy to have so many great shops around us. These you can use for steamed dumplings or deep fried dumplings, but me and Anne have a personal preference to all things fried, so that's where we're going to go today. As well as your dumpling skins, which you want to keep nice and damp in a damp tea towel to keep them from drying out. Top tip. As well as that, we are going to be using 5 different types of mushroom today, or in Thai, het. Yeah. So today we have 4 dried varieties. We have boletus, we have oyster, we have shiitake, and we have porcini. And also, as well, we're using some good old Cornish button mushrooms as well. Along with that, we also have our Thai aromatics, very important. So we have our garlic, or gratien, and we have our ginger.
King in Thai.
Ginger is king. And as well as that, we have our little bit of crunch. We have our carrot, which is carrot.
Sorry.
As well, to add a little bit of sweetness, it's very important to get some petit pois in there and some sweet corn. Frozen variety is absolutely fine. That's going to give you a nice little natural bit of sweetness, a little bit of crunch. So super important to match up with the delicious flavors of your ginger. Finally, we have our coriander, so important in Thai cuisine. And Miran's little secret ingredient. You're gonna find that your mix gets a little bit damp and you need to keep it nice and dry. So we're going Irish with this one. We're using potato. And little known fact, potato actually does show up a lot in Thai cuisine. So I'm not taking the blame for that one. Perfect. So shall we get started, Anne?
Yeah, let's get started.
So I will take the lead on some potato. And can you do me some ginger?
Yeah, yes, I can do
Thank you,
that.
darling.
We're gonna use the mandarin because this one makes your life easier. But you have to super be careful your finger.
Anne spends most of her time in the kitchen sorting out my cut fingers. I'm chipping to cut that. The finer your cut on your ingredients are, guys, the better your dumplings are going to taste, the more that your flavors are going to assimilate. So use whatever best practice you've got to get that nice fine chop. I'm going to use my knife here, and you want to make sure that your knife is never leaving the board to give you a nice fine chop. You're going to make a seesawing motion to make those nice fine cuts. Fingers well out of the way.
Yeah.
Perfect, and then we're going to go along.
So now I got my section and I'm gonna chop the mushroom for you.
Yes, please, darling.
Before you use the dry mushroom, you have to soaking first, and then you're gonna get that mushroom like a moist and soft and easy to use, easy to cut, like that.
My pre-cut potato as well. Give us a nice little booster. Let's get some button mushrooms on the go. Again, I'm going to use the exact same technique. Use the flat side of your mushroom to make sure that you're not going to get any movement that might put your fingers at risk. We work quick in the Thai Orchid, so we got to work safe. Don't let your knife leave that board. I'm making a mess today, darling. That's very unusual, isn't it? There we go, our butter mushrooms. So let's get our ginger in there, darling. Let's get our king in there.
King, yeah.
And our garlic, we're going in with those
There,
leaves.
yeah. We're gonna mix everything together. After that, we're gonna cook them, and then we're gonna wrap them into that parcel. This one, that's why we call tung tong. Tung tong, that means golden parcel. Like a nice little one, golden color.
We also found out recently that in Australia they actually refer to these as money bags. Which, let's get me some of them.
Yeah.
Lovely, perfect. So we're going to finish off this mix, ready for mixing. We're going to add in some palm sugar. Palm sugar is quite often misunderstood as being derivative from palm oil. It is not. It's actually taken from nectar of coconuts. So it's orangutan friendly as well as being extra healthy. It's unprocessed and it's going to give your food a really delicious flavor and texture. It's so worth going out to try and find some of this for yourself. You'll start finding you put it on your toast in the morning. You'll never go back to castor again. And finally, just for a little bit of bite, we're adding some black pepper. Once we've got our mix all made up, then we're going to take it into the kitchen to cook, and we're going to come back to
Don't forget the mushroom sauce.
I definitely won't forget that mushroom sauce.
Very important, this one.
You and me, yeah, right. So once we've got that really well blended up, then we're going to give that a cook in the wok. Give it a little bit of wok magic.
Look at that.
Lovely.
Look delicious already.
Okay, so now that our very own Meg Chloe has applied her wok magic to our dumpling mix, we are ready to roll.
Yeah.
So, Anne, darling, can you bring out bring on the wraps?
Sure.
So with your dumpling mixture, I know this is all very exciting, but try your very best to have patience and let it cool. Otherwise you'll find that your dumplings are super hard to roll and you want to get them just perfect. What we're aiming for here, in these ones that we made earlier, are these lovely little wheat parcel wraps. You want a nice healthy amount of tail on there so that you've got a lovely little handle for your dipping sauce. Here you are. And also to make sure that you've got that lovely crisp little texture to complement all the delicious flavors inside your dumpling. So try not to be over generous with these. I promise you that less is more with dumplings. You want to aim for about a teaspoon in each wrap. Nice and centered. This is one of our favorite things to do in the kitchen. It is so therapeutic and it gives us a chance for a really nice catch up on our days while we just sort of roll and roll and roll. Okay, fantastic. You ready, darling?
Yeah.
So we are going to use some cold water, just tap water is fine. And with this, you're going to form yourself a little glue. So you want to line the corners of your wheat flour pastry. And you want to bring them up. The technique is to meet your diagonals. Hold with a pinch and bring your diagonals up to meet. And then you want to cup in from the bottom and give them a nice little squeeze there. Bring your hands up to meet your baby finger. Hands is much better than mine. Let's go again, darling. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm embarrassing myself. I'm not fit to share the same kitchen as you. Lovely. So we're bringing up our diagonals, and in one smooth motion, we want to hold them from the bottom and give them a nice little cuddle, and you want to swan neck the top into your finger.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm redoing
yeah.
myself bad. I'm
Beautiful,
okay with
beautiful.
that. The master. Like, you make me do so bad, darling. You should do this by yourself. Lovely. And again, so the diagonals. You might find this a little bit fiddly to begin with, but persevere. It is such a therapeutic little job. And these freeze beautifully, so you can make them in advance and pop them into the freezer raw, ready for frying when you're ready. Pull them out just before an event and have these lovely little dumpling parcels ready, waiting and hot for your friends when they arrive.
Swadika. So now I'm gonna show you how to make tamarind sauce with this tamarind pulp. These are popular in Thailand, especially in Pad Thai sauce. We call tamarind sauce sauce makam in Thai. You can buy tamarind pulp in Asian shop. You get the lovely sticky and juicy like this, and you need to add water. And now you need to soak about 30 minutes with hot water. I'm gonna show you how to soaking this. Just add it, and then you after about 30 minutes you can get you get the nice juice and flavor to flavor. So season with palm sugar and salt. Normally we make tamarind sauce with fish sauce, but today we make vegan food. We make vegan sauce. We just use salt instead fish sauce. Now I'm gonna show you how to make sauce. Come with me.
So now we are golden brown, crispy and fried to perfection. So all that remains is to finish them off with a little bit of some green. Dress your plate. You know what, I'm too hungry, darling. Let's just go for it. So we've got our delicious tamarind sauce here, which Anne has finished off with chili flake, peanut crumb, and a little taste of coriander. You can never have too much. Are we ready to try it, darling? Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Cheers. Ladies first. They're gingery, they're smooth, just the right amount of sweetness, just the right amount of crisp. Wow.
Crispy.
Delicious.
Nice combination, everything.
I think we need to call in some support to help us try these. Giacomo!
Hey!
Hey! Okay guys, so we have one last little treat snippet for you, and that is our vegan cauliflower wings, which are an absolute staff favourite after a long day's busy shift. So for this, you want to grab your head of cauliflower and just cut a little triangle out of the stalk. You want to preserve as much of that stalk as possible for flavour and texture. So like I said, we want to be saving aside these leaves. They are full of delicious, nutritious flavour, commonly unused in British cuisine, but in the Thai Orchid, we like to use all of our delicious flavors. We're always making up soups and stocks with our wastage, which just adds to the flavor. We're recycling our dishes, less waste, good for everybody. So now that we've got our cauliflower into delicious, nice bite-sized chunks, we are gonna drizzle with a little bit of oil. We're gonna add a little bit of seasoning, and we're gonna roast. So we've got dried chili flakes here. Then we're going to add a little bit of black pepper. And finally, we're going to do a delicious dusting of garlic granules. We're going to leave those to roast on a nice medium heat until you get a delicious color and a really nice crunch. You don't want to cook it too thoroughly because we're going back in with the fryer later. So while your cauliflower is roasting, you've got time to make your marinade. We are going to put all of our ingredients through the blender. We're going to start off with the leftover stalks from today's service. So those leaves are super useful for other things, but your stalks are full of flavor. So get those in the blender. We've got coriander and basil. We're using a good variety of chilies. We've got Scotch bonnet, we've got padron, we've got the traditional Thai bird's eye, and we've got these delicious, big, chunky, dried chilies. Along with that, this is Golden Mountain seasoning sauce. You can use soy, and we're going to go for about 12 tablespoons of that bad boy. We've got our black pepper going in now. Alongside that, we're going to add garlic granules, and I would highly recommend a white sugar for this dish. We try to use palm sugar wherever possible, but for this one, we're going to need that sweetness to counteract the 5 different types of chili we've got in our blender. Be free with this one. If you're not comfortable with spice, you add spice to taste. In the Thai Orchid, we like it super, super hot. We're going to blitz these up until we got this delicious mixture. It's super pungent. You're going to be able to smell that spice coming right into your face. The Thai would say that spice is really good for you as well. So the more spice, the better as far as we're concerned. You want to get that marinating with your roasted cauliflower for a minimum of 10 minutes, but longer is better. So if you can leave it overnight, I recommend it. We're then going to make 2 different bowls for our batter. We're using coconut milk, and then in my second bowl, I have a combination of corn flour and self-raising flour. To that, I'm adding chili powder and smoked paprika. Add that until you get a good color. We're not looking for flavor out of these ingredients. We're just looking for the color in the batter. So be brave. Try not to over powder. You'll find that it leaves a powdery texture on your tongue. But I would highly recommend trying one, throwing it through the fryer, seeing what you think, and then adjusting to taste. We're using coconut milk as a substitute for the egg in this batter. As you can see, this gets pretty messy. Maybe recommend some apron. And then we're going for our fry. So these are frying at 180 degrees for about 4 minutes until you get a delicious golden brown, and we're ready to serve. We are going to pair this with our homemade hot chili sauce. You do you. Look at the delicious texture, and oh my goodness, the crunch on these guys. I can't even tell you.
Here's Badman Sam, just finished his shift and ready to snack. Sam is our resident vegan, so he samples all of our recipes for us. And as you can see, he's pretty happy with this one. So let's bring in the rest of the team for a little snack. We got Ignacio, we got Giacomo, everyone getting together for a good old munch. What are work families for, eh? We just want to, as the Thai Orchid, we want to really thank Jasmine at Craft Eat Smile and give our gratitude to the Trussell Trust as well for all of the hard work that they do. We hope that you've enjoyed joining us for these cooking tutorials. And again, thank you so much to TCAL for taking part with our very own Thai Orchid soundtrack. We are just so happy to have all of you guys involved, and our little work family has had the best time taking part in the festival. So thank you so much. Kap Kun Ka and Sawadee Ka.